I have the honor and the privilege to introduce to you my mentor, who knows 100% of the facts, loves to have fun, down to earth, Mr. Alistair Edwards. Yeah.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
How's everybody else doing?
Great.
Awesome, awesome. I definitely want to thank you all for taking the time to look at this video and this presentation. What I wanted to share with you was an opportunity that was shared with me well over 16 years ago. My background is that of grocery retail. I had a gentleman walk into my store back in 2003, asked me to come to a meeting to look at some information, and I said I wasn't interested. Anything in a meeting in a hotel room sounded like one of those schemes to me, and that's what my negative thinking back then. But he constantly kept in my store. I remember sitting on my office one day, looked at the camera, saw this gentleman walk in, and called my front office cashier. I said, look, whatever it is you do, you tell that man I'm not here. But he saw my car in front of him leave. So I had to come out. I said, Mr. Green, what part of no roads you understand? And he said one thing that made a difference. He said, Mr. Edwards, is it fair to say that most of your best decisions are usually made when you have 100% of the facts? I said, true. He says, I just want you to come look at the information, and no matter what you decide, I'll never bother you again. He says, but if you don't come, I'll be here again next week. So that's what got me to come to a presentation. I'm so glad that he did. At the time, I was store manager making 6 figures. I was working, half days, 2 to 2, 4 to 4, 6 to 6, right? So basically, I had income, but I had no time freedom. And so I looked at the opportunity. My first year made about 30 grand, but by my 4th year, it was actually matching my full-time income. And by my 6th year, it was matching in what we call residual income, meaning what I had done in my first 5 years was paying me consistently and continues to pay me today. So my goal today is simply just to give you 100% of the facts. I just want you to take a look at the information and allow yourself to make a good decision. Fair enough? So we'll just go through this information real quickly and just understand this is all about your opportunity and your journey. You get to choose what you do and how you do it from this point forward. So let's just talk about disruptive innovation. Things are happening every day that change things, meaning as soon as you think something is happening, something changes. So how many of you remember shopping at the mall? That was the thing at Christmas holidays. Traffic would be backed up, parking lots would be full. If you didn't go early, you couldn't get what you wanted. Then Amazon said, look, why don't I just ship you what you need, right? Everybody now buys online. It's a disruptive, what we call innovation. Remember, you used to have CDs and records and CD players, and then Spotify came out, Pandora, all of these different things to where now you can simply just stream whatever music you need to have access to. It's a disruptive innovation. It simply made things simpler, easier, and more affordable. Would you all agree? But let's talk about the justice system. What about getting access to the justice system? The average American right now who wants to use an attorney would have to pay $300 or $400 an hour just to get a letter in or ask a question. So the justice system needed some innovation. Would you all agree? So here's the thing that we noticed about every single thing that I mentioned before and all the great innovations today. Every one of them has an app, right? Everyone say tap that app. Whenever you have a situation, you usually tap the app, right? You have a situation where you want to get from A to B, you tap the app, you call your Uber. Would you all agree? Yes. Right? You want to find out some information about something, you tap the app and you go to Google. It's a search engine, right? Everything is done through your phone. Well, what about when you need an attorney? The good news is today, you can tap your app. And that's what our business is about. That's what LegalShield is here for. And our goal is simply to provide equal access to the liberty, equality, and opportunity and justice that every human deserves and expects. We want to make sure you and your family have access to some of the top-ranked law firms across the country. Let me tell you a little about the company. Now, you're thinking it's a new innovation, so it must be a new company. Not so. This company's been around for quite a while. Actually, we've been around since 1972. Forbes did some great extensive research on us. Yahoo, CNBC, Bloomberg, the Better Business Bureau gives us a 5-star rating. We already have over 4 million lives that we protect throughout the United States and Canada, with a dedicated network of attorneys through all 50 states and all provinces of America all provinces of Canada right now. So the research has already been done. Now, the reason I always want to share this slide is because someone listening to this information right now is still going to say, I need to go do my what? Research. And I totally understand that. But if the path has already been cut, why are you trying to cut another one? Meaning if the research has already been done by Forbes, why are you trying to research it? If CNB has already done the research, why are you trying to research it? If the Better Business Bureau, who has a better research team than you do, has already given us an A+ rating, why are you researching it? There's no need to research. The question you need to ask after you see this information is, does it make sense to me or not? That's it, all right? So let's talk a little bit. And I know most of you are thinking, well, Alistair, it's about legal, it's about lawyers. I don't need one, I've never broken the law. I don't have any intentions of breaking the law. That's what I thought when I heard about it. Prior to looking at LegalShield, I probably only had 1 or 2 experiences with an attorney. And none of them really worked out in my favor, right? But because I didn't think of things as a legal situation. Meaning if you ever received a speeding ticket, signed a contract, been a victim of identity theft, right? Anything like that is what we call a legal situation. The only reason you didn't think about it as a legal situation because you've tried to associate the cost of hiring an attorney to deal with that situation. Meaning if you got a $300 speeding ticket, you don't hire a $400 an hour attorney to go to court for you. It just doesn't make sense. So it's no longer a legal situation to you, it's just a bill. But if you had access to an attorney, it wouldn't be a bill, it would be a legal situation. You would have your attorney go handle that situation for you because the cost was not a factor, right? So what we simply do is give you access, right? You tap that app, you now have access to an attorney. We start off by giving you unlimited telephone consultation, simply making sure that your personal legal advice is available to you whenever you need it. So if you wake up in the morning, you got a question about real estate, you call in, you get your real estate attorney. You got a question about taxes, you call in, you get your tax attorney. The good news is those attorneys will write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. So like I said, I've been a member for 16 years, so it just makes sense to me. Actually, one of my cars is a Hyundai. Driving down to Florida, car all of a sudden started to lose its power. Scariest feeling when you're in the fast lane, there's a car behind you, there's a truck to your right, there's no median to your left, right? Kind of remember your Lord all of a sudden. Finally got it over to the side of the road, tried to crank it over, wouldn't work. I had to call my son to come get me. My son came and got me. We had the car towed to the closest dealership, which happened to be in Albany, Georgia. The next day, the dealer calls me and says, well, Mr. Edwards, here's your situation. You got 190,000 miles on your car. Let's live this life. We got 2 options. I can get you a new engine for $6,000, a brand new one, a used engine for $6,000, a brand new one for $9,000. And you got to pay for labor and parts. I said, let me think about it. As soon as I hung up with him, what did I do? I tapped my app. I called my law firm. A few hours later, an attorney calls me back and said, Mr. Edwards, give me the make, give me the model. Let me do some research. Did some research, called me back and said, Mr. Edwards, here's the good news. There was a recall on that model. What we're going to do is write a letter on your behalf. So they wrote a letter to that corporate office for me. 5 days later, the dealer calls me back and says, hey, Mr. Edwards, I don't know who you know or what you know, but we got a call from our corporate office. They're shipping us a brand new engine. We should have it in about 3 days. We'll probably take about another 3 days to install it. We'll have it ready for you. And then guess what? They're picking up the tab. So a simple letter from my attorney made a difference. I want you to think what the average American would have done in that situation. Because my first thought was just to leave it in the car. You can keep it. I got 190 out of it already. It's yours, right? But no, because I had a resource that wasn't going to cost me any money, I could talk to someone that had more knowledge in that area than I did. We also do contract and document review. How many of you here have signed something you ended up regretting signing later? Cell phone contract, gym membership, timeshare, right? Marriage certificate. I mean, you guys got to read these fine prints, right? Any contract that you're signing, you now have to have an attorney review that document for you. So that's the good thing about our services. We also cover you if you get audited. You have a tax attorney to sit down when you go to audit with you. Another reason why I like the service is because every time I do a presentation, there's always that smart person that says, sounds good, but I don't need it. My cousin's an attorney, my brother's an attorney, and I always say that's great. But I would rather have a law firm than a lawyer. Let me say that again. I would rather have access to an entire law firm than to one lawyer. Because if your friend is a tax attorney and you got a criminal situation, that's the wrong attorney. Vice versa. If you have a criminal situation, you definitely don't want a tax attorney. You can ask Tyson about that one, right? It's just facts. The good news is you have access to our entire law firm. We also start you off with 60 hours of trial defense for any civil lawsuits. So every year you have the membership, we add an additional 60 hours, copy you added over 300 hours on attorney's time already paid for. Once you've been a member with us for 90 days, we handle uncontested name change, uncontested divorce, and uncontested adoption at no additional cost. But the part of this membership that I love the most is the simple button there that says emergency legal access, meaning you have the access and the opportunity to tap a app in an emergency situation. See, I have 2 boys, right? So it was very important to me that when they left my house, that they had access to an attorney. It's just the way it is in today's world, right? We have Miranda rights. We have the right to remain silent. We have the right to call our. The question, for those of you listening today, is I only have one question for you to ask yourself. What attorney have you assigned to your family to call in case of emergency? Here's the good news with ours. We simply tap our app. Some of us go to companies and provide this as a benefit to the employees. I had a lady call me once and said, hey, Mr. Edwards, look, I need to thank you. You came to our company, you sold us the benefit. My son is 18, first one in our family ever go off to college, University of Illinois. His fourth week of school, he met some guys, decided to go to a party with him. Coming back from the party, police pulled him over and police searched the car. She said, my son had no idea the driver had a gun on him. I see. When the police find the gun, guess what happens to all 4 kids? Everybody's getting arrested. He's crying, can I please call my mom? What's the officer gonna tell him? No. He says, look, can I please call my attorney? What's the officer gonna have to tell him? Yes. He says, look, he dials the number, he's like, look, I don't know who you are. All I know is my mama said if I get in trouble, I ain't talk to you. He talked to the attorney said, let me talk to the officer. Officer comes back to the car, says, young man, when we get to the station, we're gonna fingerprint, we're gonna do a background check, we're gonna check for warrants. If everything comes back good, you're being released on what we call a verbal signature bond. He says, well, what about the other 2 kids? Driver admitted the gun was his. Driver admitted no one else had any knowledge of the gun being in the car. He says, that's fine, Daddy, but I didn't speak to their attorney. Those other 2 kids that had nothing to do with the gun got arrested Saturday morning at 4 a.m. The judge who was assigned the case decides he doesn't want to hear it until Wednesday. Bond not available until Thursday. 4 days in general population because they didn't have access to an attorney. The one child that had this membership was able to go home free. That's the power of having access to your Miranda rights. You definitely also know that you all pay too much for car insurance. Would you all agree? Yes. So if you get a speeding ticket, what happens to your car insurance? It goes up. It's not only going to cost you points, it's going to cost you money. The good news is with our services, as soon as you get a moving violation, no need to argue with the officer. You simply pull your phone out, you tap your app, you take a picture of that ticket, it's sent, it goes directly to our law firm. We have an attorney who will represent you in court. Their main goal is to make sure there are no points on your license, and if they can, they'll work on reducing or eliminating the fine. I can tell you between me and my 3 kids, we've tested that area for you thoroughly. And I just want you to know, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't verbalize what you want to happen. So if you're in a coma, life support, right? You simply not get to make a choice. Mine is real simple. My family knows, look, if it's 7 days go by and the doctor thinks they can't bring me back to 100%, pull the plug. I don't want to be on anybody's life support. I don't want to be on a coma. I don't want any tubes down my throat. And I definitely don't want you all to prop me up in the corner and watch you all have fun. That's just not how I want to live. The good news, though, is my family doesn't have to argue or think or worry about if they made the right decision because they now know what my wishes are. Fair enough? So that's the power of getting the living will done for you. Everything I just went over is covered under our membership at no additional cost. Everything else will fall under our 25% membership discount. So if it's a divorce, a bankruptcy, a DUI, a pre-existing legal situation, you still have access to our AB-rated law firms, our top-ranked law firms, and we're giving you a 25% membership discount. If it's a situation where you're in a car accident, they're going to do that in what they call a contingency case, where simply they're going to take on the case, and once the case is settled, you just pay out of what the settlement they've won for you. So there's no upfront in that situation. Who do we cover? We cover the member's spouse, any dependent children up to the age of 26. Any children up to the age of 26, and dependent children up to the age of 18, and any children that are physically or mentally handicapped are covered for life as long as they live in the residence. So we cover an entire family. And how much do we do that for? Oh, just think about it. The average attorney right now, if you were my attorney and I asked you to give me all those services, how much would you charge? Well, if you will go through the yellow pages today, you're going to be starting at $250 an hour. The good news is we provide those services and access to all of our entire law firms for only $24.95 a month. That's less than $1 a day to protect your family with our legal services. Next thing we want to talk to you about is identity, that fastest growing crime in America. They say 1 out of every 3 Americans will be a victim of identity theft. Right, so it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of what? When. And when it happens, I always said, if a professional steals your identity, what do you want? A professional to restore it, right? So we partner with LegalShield, where we cover every single area of identity, like tax returns, medical claims, Social Security, driver's license, anything that involves. I always said, if you have a number, we're watching that number for you. The best part about it is it's all available to you on your LegalShield app. You get to see your credit score at any time. They monitor every single database. If anyone or anything is inquiring, you're notified, so you get to say, yes, that's me, no, that's not me. And the good news is that you are a victim of identity theft, they're going to have a licensed investigator. We're one of the only companies, if not the only company, that does full what we call comprehensive restoration. And we back that with a $25,000 guarantee. And if you want to get all 3 credit bureaus, which is what I strongly recommend, and it's in your budget for an additional $5, it also comes with what we call a $1 million service guarantee, where all 3 credit bureaus are monitored on a regular basis, and we cover every high-risk situation. Right? And you have 24-hour access to an advisor in an identity theft situation. Who's covered? We have an individual plan that's only $9.95 a month, and then we have a family plan that's $24.95 a month, which will cover you, your spouse, and up to 10 kids. on our identity theft protection service. So it's a great service. So here's a little bit of what our combinations are. So just so you understand, our legal plan, our most popular plan is what we call our $49.90 plan. So where a family has both the legal and the identity theft protection. So less than $50 a month, protect your entire family with both the legal and the identity theft. If you want to add all 3 credit bureaus and get an additional $5, you're looking at $54.90, which is worth it if it's within your budget. If it's just you, you simply pay $24.95 for the legal, $9.95 for identity theft, you're looking at $34.90 a month to cover you. All right? But here's the good news. Don't look at it as an expense. Because it comes with the member's perks, look at it as a savings. You're actually going to save more by being a LegalShield member. Because here's a question I want you to ask yourself. Have you ever been to the movies? Have you ever been out to eat? Have you ever done any grocery shopping? Have you ever rented a car? Have you ever traveled on a plane? Are you a member of a gym? Do you currently have a cell phone? All of those are things that you what? Already do. Those are things that you are already saving money on. Our LegalShield members perks is going to save you anywhere between 20 and 60% on the things that you're already doing. I probably save anywhere between $50 and $500 a month, depending on what my schedule looks like for the month through my members perks. So because it pays for itself, I'm always going to keep it. That's the good news about the services. 90% of the people that sign up for our services are going to keep it long term because those are the ones that have sense and just understand it just what makes sense. So they keep it. I always was told, it's not how much you make, it's how much you what? It's how much you save. It's how much you save, right? So you definitely want to do that. So because our membership and our services is so great, there's a business opportunity. And that's what I really wanted to talk to you all about today. The market is ready for what we're doing. We actually had a company do some research on the population, and here's what we found. 93% of the population right now believe that attorneys charge too much. Would you all agree? Yes. Someone asked me, well, who's the 7% that don't? I said, well, of course, it's the attorneys, right? They would tell you they're paying too much. But here's another one we also found. 90% right now do not have any access to legal services. They don't have any access or don't even know that a legal plan exists. Notwithstanding that, we found that 9 out of 10 people said, look, if I could, I would. Meaning if there was a resource where it didn't cost me money and I could talk to an attorney, I would. Meaning I have a question right now I'd like to ask an attorney, but I can't because I can't afford it. And the stat that made me get excited about this business said, look, if 60% of the people, if you were to talk to a group of people, 60% of the people in the room, if it was properly explained to them, would automatically get it immediately on the spot. I don't know any other product or service out there where 60% of the population is like I want it right now. So it's a great business opportunity. Right? So let's talk to you about how we make money in this business. I was always told it's always good to have at least 3 or 4 or 5 streams of income. Would you all agree? Yes. The good news is we give you all 5 streams of income right here in this business. One business gives you those types of income. Every time you personally make a sale, we pay you. Every time you recruit someone and they go make a sale, we pay you. On those memberships that were sold, as long as they stay on the books long term, we pay you again in the form of what we call residual income. We also make sure that we give you bonuses and incentives just for being a part of our services and providing the membership. So let's go through our compensation plan. If you decide to partner with us, you're going to start off as what we call an associate, which simply means you've decided to start your own business. Our most popular plan is our $49.90 plan. And here's why I encourage you to start a business. If you're currently a W-2 right now, that means you work for somebody else. That also means you're in the highest tax bracket in America right now. By simply becoming an associate, you now become what we call a 1099, to where now there's some tax advantages. So a portion of your electric bill is for now your business. The clothes that you wear is business clothes. Meals that you have with people that you talk to about your business can be written off. There's some great tax advantages for this. So if you decide to partner with us, make sure you talk to your accountant. You go out and you sell a $49.90 plan. That's the $24.95 legal, the $24.95 identity theft plan, family plan combined. That's what we call $49.90. We round it off to what we call $50 in what we call premium dollars. You market a membership, $49.90. You send that into the company turns around and pays you $60. Think about that. You just profited, what, $10? Well, you actually profited $60 even though. You see the value? You share the information with someone, they sign up for the membership, company pays you $60. Once you decide to do that and market what we call a 90 in premium, right, and recruit one person, or go out and do $180 in premium, the company's now going to promote you to what we call the senior associate position. From that point forward, every time you market a membership, we're going to pay you $120. Now, if you decide to do that in your first 20 days, the company says, because you moved quickly, we're going to go ahead and pay you an additional $300 bonus. That's amazing. The next position says, look, if you and your team, the one recruit or the three recruits you recruit, whichever you choose, or you personally market over 400 in premium dollars, you go from what we call associate to senior associate to where now you're making 120 bucks. I mean 140 bucks. You go to manager, making 140 bucks. You do that in 45 days, and the company's going to give you an additional $500 bonus. Your comp plan goes as high as what we call the executive director position. So where every time you sit down with someone and sell a $49.90 plan, the company turns around and pays you 280 bucks. So let me explain this to you. You invite some friends and family over to your house. Let's say you invite 20 people over to your house. Let's say you're just a senior manager. You make 120 bucks every time you market a membership. Out of the 20 people that come over, 10 of them say, look, it just makes sense. They go ahead and sign up for the services. We're going to pay you 120 times 10. That's an extra $1,200 into your household within 48 hours. We said it again. That's an extra 1,200 bucks coming into your household in 48 hours because you decided to share a good service with people. But now, if I was one of the people in your living room who has some common sense, and I say to you, that just makes sense, and you say, well, Alistair, I made 120 bucks when you signed up. I'm going to ask you, well, how do I get to do that? And you say, join my team. First person I shared the information with was my mom. I said, Mom, do you need to get a will done? She said, yeah. She said, okay. I signed her up. They paid me 60 bucks, but because you recruited me, they paid you a 20 buck override. That compensation goes as high as 180 bucks every time you personally market a membership. The good news is those memberships stay on the books long term, we're going to continue to pay you. Let's say you built a team of just 30 people, and out of those 30 people, each decided, look, we're going to sell 5 memberships a month. At a $50 override at the executive director position, you just generated an extra $7,500 coming into your household every single month. The good news is it's leveraged income, meaning you didn't have to do all the work. The people you recruited went out and did a little bit of work. You collected a little bit of money from each person and made a lot of money. It's like a real estate broker. They stay in the air conditioning. The real estate agent goes out in the sun and the heat and the rain and sells the house. But every time the house is sold, the broker gets a what? Small override, leveraged income. Now here's what you got to understand. Those memberships stay on the books long term, we're going to pay you long term, lifetime residual income for the life of the membership. So as long as the customers keep paying monthly, you keep getting paid. So the memberships I sold in 2003, I'm still getting paid on today. I only talked to the person one time back in 2003. Well, because they're still paying the monthly, I'm still getting paid. That's the great thing about residual income. So here's the power of residual income. Here's what you got to understand. This thing is phenomenal. And we also throw in some free incentive trips for those of you that decide to activate your business and work the business on a regular basis. There's some free trips that are available to you also. We also want you to know that there is an investment to start this business. Now, if you ever thought about starting a business, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. If you want to start a McDonald's franchise, it's going to cost you millions of dollars. Your LegalShield business can be done for simple 99 bucks. One-time investment or administration fee just to get you processed and into the system. The good news is we also know that in running a business, you need to have a website. You need to have a customer service system, a CRM, right? You need a back office to handle your QuickBooks and your taxes. The good news is we do all of that for you through our LegalShield Advantage for only $19.95 a month. So your business expense is only $19.95, right? So I want you to think about the value of how that does, and it also opens you up to our trips and our incentive program. Now, some of you are thinking it sounds good, but you all don't know what you're doing. What we do is a proven track record. We've been doing this for years. We have several of them. Brian Carruthers said, when I sold that house, it was great, but what I knew is I had to go sell what? Another house. But when I sold the membership, I knew that I would get paid for it all the time, right? My mentor, Darnell Self, used to be in retail, and now he does over $1 million every 12 months with his company. My best friend, Mike Humes, used to be a postal worker, but now he does over $500,000 every 12 months with his company and no longer has to run from the dogs, right? So now his money's chasing him because it's residual income. So as you can see, we have people from all backgrounds, all religions that have joined and partnered with us. It's a proven track record. Over 200 people are doing $50,000 or more every 12 months with us. Another 400 are doing 6 figures more, meaning over $100,000 or $1 million in 12 months. 250 plus people have been inducted into our Millionaires Club. And you'll get to hear from one of those gentlemen today. We've paid over $1 billion in commission over the last 10 years. That's $1 billion with a B. Powerful sales, powerful track record. So here's what I need you all to understand. This thing is going to happen with or without you. There are 3 things we want you to consider. 1, becoming a member. It just makes sense. The person that's sharing this video with you will give you their website. If you're invited by me, you'll see my website on the bottom of this link. You simply just go to the website, sign up. We're gonna have you covered. At least protect your family. But I really hope you take the number 2 step. Not only do you get the membership, let's consider becoming an associate. Meaning you simply help us share this information with other people and you too can earn some commission. If that's what you choose to do, we're gonna do some great things. One, we're gonna start off by getting you properly trained. So don't think that this is something that you won't have knowledge of how to do, because we're gonna give you all of the tools and the things necessary to equip you to properly market this membership. And then we're also gonna help you get what we call Fast Start Qualified and Advanced to our comp plan to get a lot of our additional bonuses and incentives. So look, I thank you all for definitely taking a look at this information. I definitely wanted you to hear from one of my business partners. This young man I've had the privilege of working with for quite a while. He's been a mentor to me, also has worked in helping me grow my business. He is what we call one of our Millionaire Club members, meaning the company in his tenure has paid him over $1 million. But not only that, he's what we call a $150,000 earner, meaning every 12 months the company pays him $150,000 or more just for being as great as he is. So without further ado, Mr. Ulysses Brown.
Good evening, Facebook family. Those out there in the social world, I appreciate the opportunity for you all looking in. My name is Ulysses Brown Jr., and I represent my wife, Annette Brown, as well. Her background is in the engineering field, and mine is business ownership, entrepreneurial, and sales. I've been involved in the network distribution industry pretty much all my adult life. But March 20th, we'll be experiencing our 20th year anniversary in LegalShield. And we saw this model down in California, where we're from. We invited 12 of our friends out. 9 came and joined us, so all 10 of us signed up that very first evening, and my wife and I made $900 our first night. We made manager our second day. If you remember the manager bonus, $500, we did that in 2 days. We did $3,500 our first month. We made director in 5 weeks, executive director in 89 days, and have been earning 6 figures for 17 years in LegalShield. And to be in the induction into the Millionaires Club is absolutely a joy. But the beauty of LegalShield, the best is definitely yet to come. Back to the sentence.
Hey friends and family, look, thank you so much for taking the time to look at this information. We definitely appreciate you looking at this. If you have any questions, look, just go ahead and drop it down in the comment bar. I'll definitely make sure that I get back with you personally. My team and I are looking to hear from you. We're looking to get you up and running and started in this business. We're most of all, looking forward to get you protected. Because I know 90% of the population, it's already a known stat, 90% of the population don't have a will in place, which is the most important document that you could ever have for you and your family. It's the number one thing you need to help you create what we call generational wealth. But 2, I hope you consider doing the business, right? My dad always told me, if you see a $100 bill and a $10 bill on the floor, which one do you pick up? Grab them both. So I'm not telling you to quit your full-time job, right? I'm just telling you to create a second source of income to where if your full-time job quits you, you have something to fall back on. Hey, thank you so much. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing from you. You all have a great day.